Up to the stage. Hi, John.
Hello, Ellie.
How are you?
I'm good.
You have been so patient waiting, but you know you were a little early on me.
You said 10:30 our time,
You,
so
you look. You know
so
what?
half
I
10.
could get the time confused. I was like, okay, because I thought if it was 6 o'clock my time, I thought it was 10 there. So what time is it now?
Nearly 11 o'clock.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you, but I was like, he's a
No,
little
that's all right. That's all right.
bit early. It's great to meet you.
And you?
Okay. So since it's 11 o'clock John's time, we're gonna get right into this conversation. Oh, okay. As I said, my producer is not here, and when she's not here, oh God, I have to run all the technical stuff by myself, and I
Oh
am
no.
not great at it.
Oh no, I'm not a great technophobe either.
Look, you were here waiting, so I'm not gonna. You don't even have an excuse. Okay, so let's get right into it. So, how did you find yourself in the world of music? Because music is a very could be a very I just want to say a very difficult journey to get through. So
Yeah.
how did you find yourself into music?
Well, I got into it in the early 1970s when I was at
Whoa,
school.
whoa.
So I learned to play guitar in 1973, and we formed a school band. So and we done a few gigs around Norwich over in the 70s.
Okay,
So I was 15, I suppose, when I first started.
okay. So what did you were you a part of a growing band that you all were together for so many years?
Yeah, we were together as a band called Electric Storm. It must have been for about 8 years.
Okay. And what happened to Electric Storm? I love the
We
name
all
though. The name is so cool.
we all broke up. We all went our separate ways. Um, I carried on with my music. I carried on doing songwriting.
Okay, okay.
Um, our drummer, he went on to do discos and DJing.
Oh,
So the band just naturally came to its end, I suppose.
hmm. Do you find it? So you're a solo act now. Is that the way you want to remain, or are you looking to recreate a new band at some point?
Well, I'm with the band at the moment called Hook, as you can see on the t-shirt.
Oh, I see the hook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I love the hook right there. I got to get close like that with something.
Yeah, so we're a sort of electro rock, electro synth band. So our music, it's all original. We don't play no covers. It's all original. It's sort of mixture of synthesizers and rock guitar.
Synthesizers and rock guitar. So can I ask you a question? I'm not trying to be offensive. Do you think that's cheating a little bit with the whole synthesizer, the whole sensor? I can't even say the word freak. The whole synthesizer thing.
Synthesizer.
Synthesizer. Do you think that's cheating a little bit when it comes to creating the sound?
No, not really. You can create the sound you want for that particular song.
Okay.
But the keyboards I tend to use, I'm using all the presets anyway. So whatever instrument I need to use,
Oh,
I've got all the presets here. So there's nothing where it involves making screeches and noises. It's it's what is built into the instrument itself. It's not an experimental type of music we
oh, it's
do.
not. Okay, okay, okay.
No,
So
not experimental.
if you had to describe if you think about your band and all the other bands that we know, how would you compare yourself to um, another band in comparison to I don't know, like a Mick Jagger or someone like how would you compare yourself? You know, there's only
I
one Mick Jagger. You know.
yeah, yeah. I suppose we're quite like OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Are you familiar with them over
Okay,
there?
a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah, we're very similar to that.
Do you ever think so? Has this always been your particular genre, or do you ever think about maybe like jumping to other genres?
Well, the funny thing is, it seemed to be something we as Hook we've just fallen into. Um, I mean, I learned to play keyboards
Okay.
back in 1979. And the guy who taught me was a blind teacher. He couldn't see, but he was one hell of a musician.
Wow.
So he taught me a few chords and things, and then I went on to learn myself from there. So yeah, it's a difficult one. No, I don't know how to answer that one.
He says, I can't answer that. I don't know about answering that one. Because I'm always curious to know, um, like some people say they like to be put in a genre, other people say they do not. So, are you comfortable being where you are as far as your music choices?
Yeah, that's what people seem to like. They seem to have put us into the bracket of 1980s type of music. Although we didn't go out specifically to say, okay, we'll be a 1980s type band.
Hmm.
It's just what people have put us into so the genre they put us into. So we've just stuck with it.
What is it about the 80s music that so many people so many artists in the UK, and I'm not saying it because I love the 80s music too, so don't get me wrong. What is it about the 80s music that you guys seem to gravitate to that keeps the UK like that whole 80s vibe? Which I tell people all the time when an 80s song come on and they're just like, what's that you see? I'm like, oh, that was 80s. You all don't know anything about that. That's usually my response to
Right.
that.
I think with the 80s, it was the era where there was a crossover from guitars to synthesizers and then dance music that all went from there. And by the time we got to the 90s, that was really more of a dance music using computers and things for generating the music.
So is that what you guys love the most about the music? Is the fact that people are able to just dance to it and want to get out there and just really feel the beat of the music, kind
Yeah,
of
if
vibe to
possible.
it.
Well, we just write songs for us, what we like, and then we just hope that other people like that stuff, kind of things as well. We try to keep all the songs sort of fairly witty, fairly upbeat.
Hmm.
Some of the songs which I've written are sort of quite dark,
Woo.
um, but put an upbeat tune to it, and we get away with it.
When you say dark music, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for
Um,
us as a listener?
yeah, well, um, people who suffer with depression and how low they feel sometimes. We've got songs we've written about being in a relationship with somebody who's a narcissistic type of person.
Oh wow.
So quite a deep song, but we put a happy beat tune to it, so it doesn't sound too doom and gloomy.
See that I'm as you're speaking, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, okay, a narcissistic personality, and then you put an upbeat to it. How does that work?
Well, we've got one particular song we've done, which is on our second album, Breakout. It's called Whispers, and that song is about being in a relationship with a narcissistic partner.
Okay.
So tend to get all the lyrics written down, and
Okay.
then just play around with a few tunes. So sometimes on the songwriting side of it, I'll try and get the music and the melody done first,
Okay.
and then add the some lyrics to that melody, so they tend to marry up. But if we wanted to, we could have done whispers because of the narcissistic um, element to it. We could have done it as quite a dark thing, but that'll probably send someone who's suffering from depression really well down. So we're just trying to keep it more upbeat.
Okay, so who was the inspiration behind the narcissism or the narcissistic personality for this song? Because everything is always inspired by something in someone's life where they run into. What was that for you? Who is that person? Was that you or one of your bandmates or?
Well, there's two of us in the band who had a relationship with a narcissistic person,
Okay.
and it wasn't very pleasant at all. Very unpleasant, And anybody who's in that kind of relationship, advice is get out of it.
It's interesting to me because probably about 2 years ago, a person approached me about writing or producing a show about a narcissistic personality, and I was like, really? And so here you are, like 2 years later, and you're talking to me about narcissism, and that entire situation was crazy to me.
Yeah,
Writing about, because I don't think the person who initially wrote it really understood, to me, the meaning of narcissism in that. And so, because that could be a
yeah,
very complex issue to deal with.
yeah. That is, yeah, yeah. That is quite a complex issue. You know, it's quite a serious issue as well.
Hmm.
Um, Normally, when you get into that kind of relationship, it's very hard to get out of it. You know, because that person will make everybody think you're the bad one, and
Yeah.
they're the good one. So
Mhm.
in a public setting, you know, they'll make out you're the bad one,
Uh-huh.
and then because they're so convincing about it, people do start to believe them, and they think you're the bad one. But you know that when you get behind four walls, that then they come out of their shell, and they're really horrible.
Man, you're talking, and I'm just like, well, somebody that I know, rest in peace, and I always said, I until you just explained it just like that, I was like, because I always felt like you right, like you're putting me in the bad spotlight, but yet and still, everybody thinks you're this sweetheart of a person, and I used to be like, no, no, yeah, and so I'm just like, damn, right now you're talking, really, okay, wow. Oh, well, okay, yeah. Because see, now my definition in my mind was something completely different.
What were you thinking?
What was I? Well, a very selfish and self-absorbed individual is what I think about when I talk about narcissism.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's what I think of, and so yeah, and I think we're dealing with that in our country loud and clearly. That's in yes, I mean, because
yeah.
that's sociopath, narcissism, the whole gamut with that situation.
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes. So that's what I think about when you say narcissism. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something with that for the new year in 2026. You're gonna have to help me with that.
yes.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because that's something I'm gonna just kind of grab onto and run with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna listen to whispers, and I'm gonna to
yeah,
get some inspiration from there.
yeah. Have a listen to that. Yeah, yeah.
So the title of the new of you got the new work is called what now?
The new single we've got out is called oh, what's it called? I forgot what's called. That's embarrassing. I forgot what it's called now. Oh, when Christmas comes again.
Look, don't worry. Look, I call those my senior moments. When I forget something, my daughter says, "You having a senior moment?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me a minute."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's when Christmas comes again.
When Christmas comes again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why that title?
Well, look, this is about, 'cause normally Christmas time people tend
Mhm.
to argue, don't they, within the family.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
you know, and maybe it's too much of the
Yeah.
drink what they have, maybe, So the song is about, now Christmas is here, put the arguments behind you. It's New Year, and arguments they're not important. Get on with your life. It's a new year. You're a family, and Christmas is a time for family. And this is really what the song is all about.
So tell me the name again so I can write it down.
When Christmas comes again.
When Christmas, I love how you say again. I love that. When Christmas comes again. Well, when
Yeah,
Christmas comes again for us, it's always some family drama.
yeah.
I don't think you can escape the holidays without some family drama.
No, you can't. No,
can
no,
I
no.
ask you? Can I ask you what was a family drama? You don't have to use any names that's memorable for you.
Oh, I don't know. I can't think over the years. I don't. I can't recall too many big dramas. Not over Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Maybe when we were kids, you fight, who's got the Beano annuals and
Uh-huh.
whose toy was what, and things
Uh-huh.
like that. but no, I can't think of any big dramas over the year for us. But I do know families who do have big arguments and they don't
Mhm.
talk to each other for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And that's what the song's about. Oh, forget the arguments; they're not important. It's Christmas time, it's family time. Get together, enjoy yourself. There's a new year coming up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take it. That's what Christmas means to you, because I always say, what's the Christmas meaning for you? And mine is to family, but it's also not working my nerves. That's like the most important.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I adore my family, but I said sometimes this is what I did. I said I have to take a step back for a couple of Christmases I did, and I said I cannot, because people work my nerve or I have a bad attitude. Which one? I don't know. Probably a bit of both for me. So I did that. So I said this year I think I'm going to go out a little bit more this season, because for the last couple I've kind of been to myself with just my daughter and my grandson. So I think maybe, but I think every now and then you need that break. Do you find yourself
yes,
sometimes needing a break?
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
See,
you
so
do.
okay, so see,
Yeah.
it's always nice to get verification, so I know I'm not wrong. I wasn't wrong.
No, no, you're not wrong at all. No.
Sometimes I think we just know when we need a break. And it's
Everybody
okay.
needs time. Everyone needs time by themselves. They do. Just to recharge your batteries.
Yeah, and for me, just to not get into an argument or hear argument, or to see a face that's probably going to start an argument, that's good for me. That's good for me. Okay, so what's your next project after the Christmas, which you have to send to me, so I can add it to the station, so I
Okay.
can
Yeah.
play it. As you know, when you were listening, I was listening to a lot of we have Christmas music playing right now.
Yeah.
So you got to send me yours so I can add yours to our Christmas playlist, so we can
Yeah.
get it going.
Yeah. I'll send you that.
Okay,
I'll send.
okay.
I'll send you the Christmas one.
Yeah, send me the Christmas one.
Yeah.
So what's new? What's after the Christmas? What's coming up after the Christmas song?
Well, not really decided yet, but we've got some live shows coming up. Obviously in the UK, so we've got to be doing some live shows and probably recording some more music.
So what is it about live shows that you like? Because
Oh,
some people don't like the live shows. So what is it that you love?
we like the feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, we like to hear what people's, whether they got to throw bottles at us or whether they got to applaud. we,
So
it,
so
it,
what's been your best feedback thus far when you guys are doing live shows?
well, I suppose the best feedback is when people want to come buy your CD. Oh, you got some CDs for sale. Can we buy them? So that must have resonated with them for them to want to buy.
Well, see, this is so you guys are still using C's, or you're just not doing the downloads, or how do you keep track of what your music is doing? How do you do that?
No, we aren't doing well. We've got Bandcamp, so all our stuff is on Bandcamp anyway.
Bandcamp, okay.
Yeah, we haven't really got anything left now on what do you call it, Spotify or anything like that. We took that all down.
Why?
Well, it was we weren't getting anything from it. That was
Oh, he said drama. What was the drama?
yeah. When we were getting the feedback from like iTunes, it said, oh, you had a high in November. You had one listener. We thought, one listener, and that wasn't really worthwhile keeping them on there because we couldn't really get anything from there. Same with Spotify. Spotify, they're making all the money, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we get about one English penny, maybe for every 100 plays.
Wow.
So it's not. It wasn't really worth it. Whereas on Bandcamp, they can download a single for I think about £1 something, which is about £1 50 or something,
Okay.
or $1.50, I think, or something like that. And we get a bigger percentage just from one song, rather than one penny for 100 downloads on
That's
Spotify.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder how many people really know that about Spotify.
Quite a lot of people do. A lot of musicians do now.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, yeah. It's not going down very well, even with the bigger artists. Those that's download millions. They're not getting big amounts either. It's killing music off. Really, it is.
See, that's what I always try to ask. I said, versus the traditional way that music was purchased. Bands would go out and they would do shows and things of that nature, or they work with agencies. So, what's your preferential for you versus going out and performing, being controlling your own music, or being signed with a major label? What's your preference?
Um, really, I think getting in the studio and playing live.
But so would you prefer to maintain? Do you guys consider yourselves independent artists or
Yeah, independent. Yeah,
independent? And that's your
yeah,
preference.
that is our preference. Yeah, we wouldn't want to be signed to a major label.
Why not?
Well, there's too much restrictions. If you got a situation where they'll say, right, you've got to be touring Egypt, or or you're going over here and there and there and everywhere, and we just don't want fancy, go like touring for a year, and we're getting too old for it now.
Well, that leads me to my next question. So, how long do you plan on continuing this music journey that you're on, and what do you want? What do you want to do? What's the end game for you when it comes to your music?
I should probably carry on songwriting. Because in the band, I've got two of my sons which play in the band as well.
You got two sons.
I've got two sons in the band.
Very good.
My youngest, he's the vocalist, so he's our lead singer.
Okay.
But he wants to leave. He wants to finish at the end of 2026 to do other things. So Hook as a band will probably cease at the end of 2026. And I shall just keep on with my songwriting.
Oh, well, that's interesting. That's some new news. How do you really feel about that? Are you ready to just focus on songwriting?
Yeah, well, yeah, I am. Yeah, I mean, Hook, we've been going now for nearly 6 years. So, we've done quite a lot in them 6 years. And sometimes with any band, you reach the end. You that project finishes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can't sort of keep dragging on and on because people just get fed up, I think. Unless you're someone like the Rolling Stones, then you can
Oh
go
my
on
God, you
forever,
go
can't
forever. And sometimes you need to sit down. Yes.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sometimes I love myself. Go have a seat, several seats. So,
Yeah.
so what is that your son? I'm so I can speak as what is that he's looking to do? Do some solo work or stay in music or go to something completely different?
No, I think he just wants a break from music.
Oh, okay.
It's just break from music. So my other son, he's our guitarist. So he's got me looking for a heavy metal band because he likes his heavy metal.
Wow. Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's got to try and get himself into a heavy metal band.
Well, you know what? They have a plan, so that's good that they have a plan.
Yeah.
Great. And then you're going to do songwriting, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, before I let you go, I got to say thank you. Thank you for staying up late, first of all, because I get my timing. I know there's about a 5 or 6 hour difference.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what the time difference was.
But I'm so glad
I do now.
I'm glad you stayed up, and I'm glad I came on because you were sitting there working, and I said I'm getting my notes ready and doing all this stuff. So I was like, I hope he thinks I'm not ignoring him, but I'm getting my notes done, my work done before I even say hello.
Yeah. Because you said 10:30 your time, so 10:30 I switched on.
10:30 my time. I got to tell people that right. I always try to say I'm 6 o'clock Central Time in the area that I'm in, so. That's like going 11 o'clock. So what's that? 4 hour difference for you? 4 or 5 hours?
But 5 hours, yeah, 5 and a bit hours.
5 hours, yeah. Listen, it takes less time to get to you than it takes to get to Hawaii from the States. I'm just like, really? that is flabbergasting to me.
Yeah. That's a big difference, isn't it?
Absolutely. Okay. Well, John, thank you for. You know what? Don't forget to send me your song, your Christmas song.
Yeah, I've got your email, so I'll email that across to you.
Okay, send it right over to me. And where can people find your music until you guys disband in 2020, the late 26? So at the end of 2026. So you guys got a good year to
Yeah,
listen and collect all of the music. So
yeah.
tell people where they can find your music.
We've got a lot of music and videos on YouTube, so
Okay.
people can go on YouTube, put in Hook UK, and that should bring our YouTube channel up.
So say that again.
And
Instead of is it Hook UK?
Hook UK, yeah,
Hook UK.
on YouTube.
Okay.
I can send you the link anyway, can't I? Email you the link.
Yes, you can.
And and we're on Bandcamp, which is hook2.bandcamp.com.
Man, I gotta check out Bandcamp because I hear so much negative stuff about Spotify. So I gotta tune people into hit them onto Bandcamp.
Yeah, the bands will earn more money from Bandcamp than they do from places like iTunes or Spotify.
Okay, all right. You guys hear that right? You guys you earn more money from Bandcamp. I got to talk to my friend Tim because yeah he's always doing stuff on Spotify. And he's got hordes of music. So I got to talk to him. Anyway, John Hook.
Yeah,
I love your name and the hook. See the hook, the hook. You got to send me a logo of the hook, right there. I need the hook right there.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on here, Ali.
Man, thank you for staying up. Thank you for being patient with me while I'm
No,
getting my notes ready. Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate your time.
and you.
All right, you guys get out there and go do some more touring and make some more music before you guys get rid of
Yeah,
each other. All
and
right.
have a good Christmas, Ali,
Thank you. You have a good Christmas too and a happy New Year.
and you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye. Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
All right, you guys. You guys are listening to my conversation with musician John Hook. Yay!
Are you done?
Yeah, not yet. No, I'm not. Brayden is talking to me. He said, "Are you done yet?" No, I'm not. Okay. So John's gonna send over his latest song, and then I'm gonna put it up. I'm going to put it up on up our radio station, so you guys know you can go to KELM Radio.
Stop yelling.
What?
Yeah, just stop yelling.
Well, okay. Well, then you can get out while I'm doing the show.
I'm not getting out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then hush up. Okay. You know, all of that's Brayden always has to add his. Stop it, boy. Always have to add his. Watch out.
You
Always have to add his little 2 cents, man. Little Mister. Okay. So I was, you guys, we missed you guys yesterday on something to talk about, just because we were getting ready for the holidays, and I have to finish getting up my decorations. If you guys see, I have a little decoration up behind me, and in front of us, in front of our console, and so in front of our console, we have some other decorations that you guys can't see, but I'll pan the camera in a little bit and show you the rest of our decorations. But anyway, I'm gonna catch him on
decorations in the house.
that. Brayden wants to show you decorations in the house. We'll get to that at some point.
No,
But-
I also decorations in you. Also decorations in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so we didn't get a chance to share some of yesterday's stories. So let me just dive into a couple of them here.
That's
Um, okay, so Jasmine Crockett, as you guys know, House Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is going to run as for a Senate seat in Texas because since they did their horrible racially gerrymandering, that she's going to run for a Senate seat in Dallas. And then what's his name? Colin Allred is going to, I think he's going to run for a House seat. He's going to run to a House. So they didn't want to, I guess, collide with each other. So I'm sure there were many conversations had during the time before she decided she was going to run, and then what Colin Allred was going to do. So I think they have made a really great decision. Right, and because here's what I think. In the Senate, you have younger blood in the House already, and we're going to need more younger blood in the House. And so Jasmine, if she wins, and I think she's going to win, but if she wins, she's going to add that new blood in the Senate, which they desperately need. Because when people get into the Senate and the House, they stay until they die out pretty much. So I think everyone needs term limits when it comes to the House, the Senate, the presidency, the Supreme Court. I think everything needs an overhaul at this point. Everything needs overhaul at this point. And I believe that the one thing I can say about Donald Trump, I don't say much about. I don't say nothing about that asshole, honestly. An overhaul for certain things in the yeah for certain things in the
I want candy from you. I want candy from
You
you.
want candy from me?
Yeah.
Well, if you be good, I'll get you some candy.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
You're the best dinner ever.
Thank you. You're the best dancer ever. So with Jasmine being in this, you need fresh new blood. Like I said, I like Chuck Schumer. I like Chuck a lot, but to me, Chuck is still working on that and that mindset where you can compromise with certain people. And I know at certain times in your life we all need to compromise, but you can't compromise with people like JD Vance and Donald Trump. You just can't compromise. So there's no compromise to be had there. So you need people that's very vocal and who's going to take a stand, and not only to take a stand, but going to truly fight and stand for the American people. And that's someone. Thank you. That's someone like Jasmine Crockett. So good luck to Miss Jasmine Crockett, who's running for the Senate, because everything that they're doing is so. You know what? It's just blatant corruption. Sometimes people try to hide the lying and cheating that they do, but someone like lying, deceitful, dishonest, narcissistic Trump, as we just talked about in my interview with John about narcissism and what one of their songs about. When you're doing people like him, then you can't just say, oh, status quo, because he disregards everything. Right. He disregards everything everything the Constitution says. He does what he wants to do. He's such a despicable, and I do use that word. He's a despicable, horrible excuse. He's a despicable, horrible disgrace of a human being. He is. Him, his family, and any offspring or children or whatever, because you know they're going to grow up in that environment with them. They feel like they're entitled, and it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And I don't know what people were thinking about when they decide to vote for that man. Every time he does something, or every time I have to react to something that he says or does, I always bring myself back to this question: what the hell were people thinking when they voted for this low life, dumb? Because he is a stupid man. Don't get it wrong. Everything he's doing, he's been advised by someone to do, because he doesn't have the mental or the intellect to understand what he's doing or even to give a damn. That's the other thing. He just does not care. So when you're dealing with someone who does not care, you are a prime and perfect tool for others to use to get what they want. Get what they want. And that's him. He has set there's a tone in our country that bugs me the most, and it is that the uber rich and the entitled attitude that they seem to have. Like this Ellison, this David Ellison, I believe, him that they bought into Paramount. Not what is it? Not Warner Brothers. They didn't get Warner Brothers, but they bought into the other one. Anyway, part of CBS, Skydance, Paramount. So they bought into that one. And so I was just kind of reading his bio, like what, because he's so pissed because Netflix went with Warner Brothers went with the Netflix deal, which I don't think is a good deal either. But you just purchased Paramount. You just went with Paramount. Why is it you're so that you're so pissed off or feel like you're so entitled that you want to create a monopoly to have all this media under you? So because you didn't get what you want, Ellison, you have an attitude. So now you're raging, you're raising hell because you had a plan. Here you are. What is this guy? Maybe 40, maybe 40 years of age, and you're raging because the fact that they didn't even, Warner Brothers didn't even consider your offer. My point, you grew up as a young kid. Your dad was wealthy. Your dad purchased you a plane at the age of 13. So what are you so angry about? You've lived a life of luxury. your entire life. You've lived in a lap of luxury. So because you can't get what you want, you throw an attitude. And then, so to me, the attitude of the of I can't say all of them, but so many of the uber rich, you just want to continue to collect and take and take and take and take and take and don't give. And when you're in a climate like that, at some point some stuff's gonna give. Something's gonna give, and it's gonna give in a bad way. So like Netflix is what Warner Brothers, right, trying to buy Warner Brothers and post deal on that. I seriously think the federal government needs to step in there and cut that deal off, because it's still not a good deal. But then I go back to, it's part of the fabric of of America. The entertainment industry is part of the fabric of the country. And all I see, and there's an article that's going to be in the latest edition of Brave Magazine. All I see are people that continue to take and take, and they just want to drain as much money as they possibly can out of institutions, and then go on about their merry way, and then sell off what they can to get more what they can. And people who are creative and who are artistic, and they want to put out good products. That's what these studios are for. Is to tell stories, that people want to hear, to tell stories that gives us pause to stop and think and want to share that. That's what studios are there for. And I understand people want to make money. Hell, I'm not sitting here acting like I'm all altruistic and don't want to make money. Of course you want to make money. But you want to make money in the right way and being right and doing right by other people that you come in contact with. And I just don't see these billionaires doing that. I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. I'm telling you right now. I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I'm telling you right now, not right now. I'm telling you right now that as our media grows, yes, as our media grows, I have an agenda in my mind, my thought process. I'm thinking about how I want our studio, our station to be represented, and I don't want it to be represented as a greedy outlet, as a greedy company. I don't. And then even when I watch, maybe it's just me, but even when I watch certain shows on television, and I'm seeing somebody who's playing this ultra rich person, and they're just doing what they want to do and walking all over people and not having any second thought about it. It pisses me off. And I know that it's not real, but it's just the fact that people can write that, and you don't see anything wrong with it. You don't see anything wrong with a person being held accountable for their behavior. It really just chaps my heart. I'm telling you, it pisses me off. So for David Ellison and all you other people, all you ultra rich, for all you people, that only cares about sucking all of the money out, because you don't care about creating something like long lasting. You don't care about having all these different shows that can later on come, like 30 years later, that you can put them on and show them on television. You don't care about going back to that. You don't care about keeping it. You care about sucking all the money out and everything. Now, as far as like the whole Netflix deal, Netflix, I know they want the studio. They want the studio. They don't want some of the other things that goes along with the studio. So they want to be able to have a studio where they can come and shoot these quick, fast films or whatever, and put them out there using the Warner Brother label. Using the Warner Brother label. Now these are like Paramount, Warner Brothers. I grew up on these things, and I watched so many television shows or family shows that had a message. I watched so many of these shows come on, and they had messages, they had meaning behind them. Sometimes just to give you a good laugh, But that's what people people say when they went to Hollywood, they're like, I want to make movies. I want to make movies. I want to make film. I want to make a TV show. You want to entertain. That's part of that creative aspect in you. Is that you want to entertain, you want to reach people, you want to talk to people, and somehow that translation has been misplaced with just greed, with just simple greed, and I think it's disgusting. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I think it's absolutely disgusting, as that it has been taken over by people who are just greedy and about the almighty dollar. I said, don't let me sit here and believe. don't let me sit here and don't think that I am just one of those people who just don't want to make money. I said again, yes, it's about, you definitely want to make money, you definitely want to be creative, you want to do all of those things, you want to do all of that, but you want to do it with dignity, with intellect, with respect. You want people to respect what you do. You want people to respect what you do and who you are and how you carried your company, how people who came to work under at your studios, how they were represented, how they were spoken to, how they were dealt with on a daily basis. Not because of any person's greed or anything of that nature. You know. So and as a kid, I tell the story because I like people to understand where I'm coming from when it comes to being creative and telling stories and working in the studios. It's about having a voice heard, having your voice heard, having something that you do means something, and that having something you do creates a legacy. Because there are so many, I'm telling you, there are so many shows that were on that represented, and they still are legacy to this day. Let's talk about the Golden Girls. The Golden Girls, I think last month was like 40 years of age. It was like 40 years ago when Golden Girls premiered. And I think that was like last month or something. And that's what we call legacy. Because even younger people are still watching the repeats of the Golden Girls. People are still knowing the song "Thank You for Being a Friend," and it's even they have even become a part of a major part of like the LGBTQ plus, um, you know, part of that culture. So, and it's because of the writing, it's because of the actors that portrayed those characters, and it's the way the director had the characters portray, or to portray the words, to put out the words. It's all of that. So it encompasses all that from the lighting, the set, the clothing. It was inspirational. As I said, when it first came out, first of all, I always tell people if you're doing a show and you have an amazing opening that doesn't have to be really long, but the song said something, that the lyrics said something, the music lets you know that they're in the room. And so when people are creating content, they need to know when something is in the room. And that's what Golden Girls did. For me, talk about characters like Blanche and Rose and Dorothy, Sophia. They all had their own lane and they delivered beautifully. B. Arthur, her comedic timing was was unparalleled to anyone I've ever seen. Uh, not Betty White, Betty White, her timing. They all had their timing down to just a point where it was just bam, 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 and they would hit a joke, and it would keep it moving. Just like when you talk about other shows like Sanford and Son, say like Red Fox. Red Fox comedic. Oh my God, his comedic timing was remarkable. I remember being a young lady. It was in the 90s. I forgot what year Red Fox had, but anyway, I think Red Fox. I think it was like 1991. Red Fox was premiering in Las Vegas, and my mother would come out to. We lived on the West Coast, would come out, and we'd always take a trip to Las Vegas. And so, um, going to see Red Fox, and we were up close and personal at the table, seeing Red Fox. Now, back then there were no in '91. I think we all said Super Kill Care Pages. Don't really know what you call it, but to see him walk on that stage and to hear him, Red Fox told some dirty jokes. Don't get it twisted, but he was in his element when he talked about his comedy. He was in his element, and you could see it. It not only did it translate on stage, but when he was doing Sanford and Son, you could see it there as well. You could see there as well. So these were people who they studied the craft of performing. They honed their craft, and they were prepared. So when those cameras came on, it was like bam, 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 bam. I miss that, and we don't see that a lot, even on scripted television today, because everybody's just there to do a job, especially to let me speak to like the Z generation, Gen Z. You guys need to learn to appreciate what has come before you and not want to destroy it. You need to take care of it and harness it and protect it instead of wanting to bleed it dry for financial gain. You can become financially secure, financially wealthy. You become all of that, but not by destroying what others, the hard work that others put to make you have, to allow you to have what you have. That's my whole point. So to Jesus, to Gen Z, you guys have more technology at hand, but you need to learn to embrace other work and other people that's come before you instead of just tearing it down. To say I don't like it. You don't. You can, if you don't like something, why don't you like it? Explain why you don't like it, and then what to change when you would like to change something. But just don't think about I'm going to tear this down. Because you think about Hollywood, you have to consider, like I said, the studios, Universal Studios, Paramount Studios, Warner Brothers Studios. You have to consider all of that. That's history, and it's history because of what they did. Think about people like actors like Lucille Ball was the first woman to ever own to ever own a studio, or Lucille Ball a production company. She was only her and her husband Desi Arnaz at the time. They own a studio, but women weren't owning that then. It's like you guys don't appreciate that. You to me you take a lot of things for granted, and that's what irritates me the most. Is that you don't understand your history, you don't know your history, and you just totally disregard it as if it's unimportant, and that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. And so when I hear someone like Ellison, this I think he's 40 something, I think. And so to hear him speak about how angry he is because they weren't considered a serious offer by the Warner Brothers to buy the company. You had just literally a couple of weeks you just closed a deal, a major deal with I think with Paramount. You had just closed a major deal. And so here you are trying to monopolize, trying to set up a monopoly with you owning Warner Brothers. And do I agree with them selling to Netflix? No, because I don't think Netflix is going to be right fit either. So no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that either. So I hope that their merger or whatever it is acquisition, I hope it falls through. I hope it falls through. I really do. I really do. I don't think it's good for the entertainment industry. Not at all. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's any of that. I don't. Okay. So I think I covered some of the stories for today, Tuesday, on Elle Unfiltered. I covered some. We had a great conversation with with John Hook from the UK. John was so patient, and I have to say thank you again, John, for coming on and sharing your journey into the music industry. As I like to say all the time, we have conversations, not interviews. That's what's important to us. I have to get you guys to make sure you start tuning into our live something to talk about. We have a new show on Monday coming up, Lord willing, knock on wood. There we go. We have a new show coming up. Hopefully Dr. Fight, Brianna, and all will be here on the new Monday. But in the meantime, we have to move through the new week, the week that we're in. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we have 3 more days moving toward the holiday, the big holiday season, Christmas. And Christmas is, I want to say no one, Christmas is the most beautiful time of the year. And I say that because I know the true meaning of Christmas. And I know millions and millions know the true meaning of Christmas as well. And so that's why this makes it so beautiful, even with the cold weather, the white snow blowing, but with the decorations, you know the meaning of Christmas. That makes it even more beautiful when you see people decorating and getting in that time of the year where you want to say please and thank you and excuse me and be a blessing to others. That's what Christmas means to me, my Lord. It's about my Lord. So you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Elle, and for on the behalf of Brianna, who didn't make it in on time today, we have to say I always have to say thank you to her because even though she's not wasn't physically here, I was able to. If I said I needed her, I was able to pick up a phone down and say, "What's going on?" So I was able to do that with her. So I thank you. I thank her for that. I thank you for that. I thank you guys who tuned in on YouTube. Continue to tune in on YouTube and Facebook. And I couldn't get on my what you call it there because Braden had my phone. So those of you guys on TikTok, so hopefully you guys will take this video and share some of it to your TikTok. So all the
You
groups
got my phone.
on Facebook. Yeah, her phone is not working right, so that's why I couldn't get on. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. What? Yeah, I think they're ready for tuning in to Elle Unfiltered. You know, I always say Elle Unfiltered is that sometimes on something to talk about, I have to be a little filtered. So I'm somewhat more filtered there than I am on here. And so I'm thankful that I can do that. I'm thankful that I can bring you guys the live streams as well as the Brain Magazine, as well as KELM Radio. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your week as we're heading toward Christmas.
Christmas.
We're heading toward Christmas, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
So we're heading toward
I
Christmas.
was trying to play with my phone, but it didn't work.
I know he didn't work, so we got to fix his phone and see what's going on. But as we head toward Christmas, and you guys be safe out there in the streets because it's always, even when you're minding your own business, there's always someone out there who's trying to distract, trying to take from you, trying to cause harm. So keep your eyes open, stay looking around, uh, stay looking around so that you can stay safe. In the meantime, in between time, I always say do this. See that? What that means is simply smile. And it says see miracles in life every day. Love you guys. Peace. I'm gonna do like Dr. Fight would say. Peace. This is what Dr. Fight says, I think. So peace, you guys. As long as Lord says so, we will talk to you guys next week. Peace out.